Hello and welcome to another Setons Cast. This time with the new setup, with the new recording software, and actually not a new microphone, but just better options and a better setup. So I think that's a big improvement over the last cast. In both terms, in terms of audio and terms of video. And I collected this replay, not knowing that I'm playing as well this game, from the Discord server. Elon Marks posted it there and said it should be a nice replay and he would like to have it casted. And so here we are. I will briefly introduce the players. We have Elon Marks as my air player. I play rock in this game. Then we have John Smith, a silver frame on front, doing first air. And we have Setons regular, Aus Pole, playing beach as UEF. And for the North team, we have Geem, 1300 rated, but also a Setons regular player, playing Setons for years. Then we have, I call him Sea Sarge, the Sarge. Quite new to the Setons community, but playing regularly, so it's also Setons regular. And we have Maro playing beach versus me, a Seraphim. And we have Alta 4 playing air for the North team. I think the most interesting point is John Smith doing first air. He decided to make 2 engineers first and then a bomber. That's basically his build order. Maybe you have seen that I made an air build. I think this is not the best idea to do it this way, because if you go first bomber, you want to have that bomber really early and really fast, and you don't need those reclaim engineers to make this build work. And there's also no reason to go around here. I mean, you have nothing to do early on, so you can use the APM to manually reclaim the trees here. But we will see over all the time in this game that my front player doesn't reclaim at all. I mean, he does reclaim here, but there won't be that much in the entire game. And that's one of the big mistakes just medium rated players pretty often do. They don't use the reclaim of the map, and it's a pretty big mistake because that makes a huge advantage. It's not only power in this case, but this is like 4,000 mass, 4 to 5,000 mass, and power of course, but he doesn't use that. And the next mistake is that he moves so far out with his bomber that he wastes so much time that his opponent already has 6 engineers out. And you can be lucky that there isn't a second factory around this time. But you want to have your bomber as soon as possible here. And while your opponent still doesn't know that you are doing the bomber. So that's why you do a little turn around, but not this way, because that's not necessary. All you want to do is not fly over the ACU, so he can't micro his engineers. He gets 2 bombers with it, 2 engineers with it. Goes here, little mistake from Cesar. Microing too late. He loses another engineer. Also, another reason why you want your bomber earlier is because around this time, 3 minutes, it's way more common that an interceptor is out, and the benefit of an early bomber is that there are no interceptors around. I mean, this time, in this case, he is pretty lucky. It's probably why he does it, because in his normal games, he experienced that people do later air, and there's now the interceptor quite late, so the bomber was more efficient than it should have been the case. Actually, we missed where it got killed. Probably the mobile AA killed it. Yeah, it has 1 kill, 118 mass kill. So that mobile anti-air killed the bomber. It kind of paid off. In terms of score, they're quite even now, so not the worst idea in this case, but it wasn't also as productive as this bomber could have been. And sadly enough, we see him not reclaim over the next couple of minutes. Auspol goes also very aggressive on his opponent on the South Sea. He's going with lots of interceptors and double bomber, and he does, although he doesn't know, he didn't scout his opponent at around the 4-minute mark, so he doesn't know what's going on. It's just a guess what he does here, but let's see how it turns out. And he also crippled his eco pretty hard. This is also a pretty big mistake. He doesn't need this power storage, and they are very expensive. It's 250 mass each, so that's 750 mass. That's a Tech 2 mass extractor upgrade, or lots of pigeons he could have made for this. It's like 10 pigeons he could have made instead of those storages, which would have been the way better idea. I mean, he has some adjacency, so that's like 25 power bonus. And there we have 50 power, so it's 40 power more, okay? It's an equivalent of 2 pigeons, but he could have had like 160 more power income by now in terms of mass if he did make pigeons instead of those storages. It's you only want one storage, if at all, to have overcharge available. There's no reason to build any power storages at this stage of the game. Because you can use the mass in anything else more better than in those storages. Make navy or upgrade your maxes most likely, or actually build more pigeons. But don't build storages that early. It's a waste of mass. It's not efficient. This time we have the typical 2 ACU versus 2 ACU meta. It's actually the most efficient way, like this here, to have your both ACUs on your team together and try to 2v1 the enemy. That's how he loses a lot of HP, and you want to have the other ACU not shooting at all, because as long as the ACU doesn't shoot, it's quite useless. And that's what you want. You want to outperform your enemy by moving clever around. You don't want to split your ACUs, and what you also don't want, you never want to go, basically, if you don't have to, in the water. You want to stay on land, because you want to have your ACU available to upgrades. Yeah, now we missed. Oh, actually, I think there wasn't even a transport so far, so Giem knew that there's a lot of air and didn't scout at all. There's now an air fight, which is probably very important, because who wins this air fight has the opportunity to drop the island. Auspol is going with a transport for the island, and he's winning the air fight. So without any intel, Giem will lose now his island. Auspol has no idea about the navy production here. If he would scout this, he could use 2 bombers to deny the engineers here, which is what you want to do. You want to use your bombers, but I guess he's quite busy microing the rest of his units. I realized myself that there is a good opportunity for us to take this island, so I bring my antis over there at this point, because I know that I don't need them on my side, so I bring them here, and maybe they will be helpful, because any unit that doesn't do anything loses its value over time. I did decide to go for decent reclaiming here. I think I make decent eco. I have lots of Tech 2 maxes. There could be more. I think I did some aggression here. I did some aggression on his expansion. I make now a little bit of navy, but I think that was like a reaction because I saw that he is trying to go for more navy production, so I reacted on that. But you see, I reclaim basically most of all trees available to me, and my front player didn't reclaim, or only did reclaim this chunk here, didn't even reclaim this here, very next to his starting position, and he doesn't reclaim at all here. And this is very big mistake. I mean, this makes like a very huge difference in your performance if you don't reclaim. Elon Marx has, I mean, it's not the most efficient build because we have the Tech 3 engineer now at the 9:30 mark, so he will begin like 9:45 and he will probably finish at around 10:30, and we will have quite late ASF, which can be problematic versus experienced players, but Alt F4 decided to not go too crazy on his build, so we will be fine early on air. Auspol increasing his aggression. He made now also a lot of frigates, working out quite nicely. He's denying now. Oh, that's actually an upgrading navy factory here, upgrading to Tech 2, undefended without any navy. It's actually never useful to build an early Tech 2 factory if you don't have frigates supporting it. So if he would have finished it, then he wouldn't have had any other factories making frigates and so on. And that's what you never want to do. Tech 2 is you always want to have frigates in your mix. And then you add up destroyers and so on. So there's never a reason to go, for example, destroyers only. This combination will, or this non-combination will always be quite ineffective, because frigates provide a lot of HP in terms or in relation to their mass cost. So always build frigates. They provide radar. They provide also multiple targets, so your enemy has it a lot harder to decide where to shoot, and that's why you always want frigates into your navy mix. With some exceptions, but frigates are always good. There's never a reason to not build frigates. Auspol goes now Tech 2 navy. But without having full Tech 2 mixes, which is not recommended. I mean, the rule of thumb is go Tech 2 navy, or don't go Tech 2 navy before you have all your mixes on Tech 2. There's no reason, or there's no efficient reason, let's say it like this, to go on 56 mass and come Tech 2. You have such a long travel distance that it's pretty hard to make full value out of your early units, and you want to have more and more Tech 2 units, and this is pretty expensive if you don't have at least full Tech 2 eco. This decision is always related to it's not always, but it's related to the travel distance, because now this unit takes around 2 minutes to go here, and so he has 2 minutes more time to react on that. And on Setons, there's two teammates that can also try to defend you, and you will never win with like 2 Tech 2 units in a fight. It's very rare. So you need over the time multiple Tech 2 units. And while you can afford 1 or 2 units early on, you see he's stalling mass now. He can't afford like the next 10 Tech 2 navy units, and he's still upgrading. So what you never do is wanna stall this much. You either go full out navy or you tech up, and you don't do both, because now both is inefficient. This production is very slow. You see that? It's very slow, and the upgrade is also very slow. So if you do that, just pause and finish up your maxes and then proceed. Because you always have to take into account that you're not fighting only your lane. You always have to take into account that the closest teammates will help your enemy, and you have to deal with that as well. I mean, you can ask for help from your own teammates, but they have to react on your call, so they arrive later as well. Keep distance. Yeah, that's a message from our mid player. Actually, I don't know what he wants to say with that, because frigates can't keep distance. It's not like he has a destroyer. Okay, what's going on front? On front, my mid player is teching up a little bit. He's going for second tech 3 max around the 40-minute mark. The North mid player also is only on the 2 tech 3 maxes, which is quite good because he has a higher rating. So my mid player did fairly good. Actually, I don't know why at this point, because Search isn't that bad. Should have played way better at this point, but it is what it is. My air player has significantly more mass income, but this is probably because he has he doesn't have that much air production. We have 2 pigeons, but we don't have. Do we have Aras? No, we don't have Ras. We have 2 pigeons, 2 factories, and let's see what Alta 4 is. Alta 4 already has pretty weird build here. He has already 5 factories, and he has 4 pigeons, like twice the amount. And now he won air, so now he has absolute air dominance after he killed basically all ASF we had, and he has more production. So he will now try to take advantage of that, which he has to. He is the highest rated player for the North team, so he has to try to make a difference and help his lower rated players, which is kind of the same for me. I didn't do too much, I think, in the beginning to help my sides or my other players. I think I did a little bit of harassment on the air player, but other than that, I felt quite comfortable because Auspol, my beach player, is doing a great job keeping this navy here very busy, and I have the feeling he won't collapse so fast, so I have time to build up my economy, because pretty often you are forced to win very fast as a high rated player, because you have to expect your lower rated players to lose very fast, which is not the case here, which is great. I mean, we actually possess the island, which is very nicely. I can also see that my front player should do quite fine. I should scout here a little bit more. Maybe there's a monkey lord or something like that. But for now, I'm lucky and are able to fight versus my direct enemy and eco up. Actually, I remember I decided to make some like mid-tier eco, and then yeah, now I'm going Tech 3 Navy here. I don't want to max out my economy because I see that Maro's eco isn't the greatest. I pretty much know at this point that I have like twice his economy. I can see that because I see only 2 Tech 3 maxes here. This is upgrading or is upgraded to Tech 3, and this is upgraded, and all the others are Tech 2. I don't know about this max, but this doesn't matter. And I know I already have a lot of Tech 3 maxes. And I know that I have to make a difference at some point, so I don't waste too much time going full out eco. It's my decision. You can go full out eco, then you have more income later, but you will have also less units available later. But what I didn't know at this point, which was really surprising for me, you can see it. I have no intel. Here, is that Alta 4, I realized there are gunships over here. But I thought they are here, so they aren't danger for me. I know that he's going here, but what I didn't know is that there is a Continental with 6 tech 3 engineers, and I think do we have? Yeah, they have. What's it? I think it's 32. I think they have 32 build power, so that's 132 build power here. That's more than a tech 3 commander, and I didn't know what dropped here. I thought it's something between Sparkies, Tech 1 arties, and I didn't know that it's Tech 3 engineers. So I reacted by making PD. I thought I could contain it. But yeah, like I said, I didn't know that it's Tech 3 engineers. And they will make a fucking Ravager. And this Ravager pretty much denies my hope to save this position here. I'm quite lucky. I mean, my power is here, which is pretty bad that I will lose power here, but I didn't have Tech 3 maxes here, which is quite nicely. There's also some Corsairs that don't do much. I already made SAMs because I realized that there will be gunships, which are, by the way, also around here. I have to deal with this drop here. And I have to deal with the gunships, and I knew that I don't have air, so I immediately reacted here and made a lot of Tech 1 AA to deny this option to kill my island, because if I lost this island, it would have been a really big blow to me. It's a pretty big chunk of my income. But yeah, I lost one Tech 3 max here, but yeah, he has to retreat now. That's too much AA. He will now micro nicely around and try to avoid my Tech 1 AA, which is quite annoying. I think I lose another Tech 3 max here, but overall I will save that. And my big advantage is that I have now Tech 3 Navy here, which will be my key to defend versus this drop. My problem is now that I have no power, so I asked my teammate for power. I was lucky that he gave me one, because if I didn't get this power, I had a big problem, because I didn't have Ras this time. That's why I want to have Ras, or not why I want to have Ras. I mean, this is quite rare, but Ras would have been really handy at this point. I kind of overreacted here. Oh well, it wasn't too bad. I mean, now it paid off. It killed the Tech 3 engineers here. And it delayed it, but it was quite a lot of investment here, and I think this navy was enough to deal with it. This delays my push here, so this opened up the window for the Norse mid player to eco up. You should have Tech 3 maxes everywhere by this point. You also could take up this. People avoid to take up this max because they think it's vulnerable, but as you can see, nobody touches it. So actually, you can pretty often go for this max as well. And he has now the opportunity to join Navy. Usually, I think without this interruption, I would have had control over the Navy by now, but I had to use my Navy on this situation here. It also crippled my power income, it crippled my mass income. So actually a quite annoying hindrance for me. My Navy, my mid player is also quite decent eco and decided to go south, which is okay, but it's also a pretty big question all the time. Do I help if the mid player is a South Navy player, or do I help the North Navy player? And usually I say go to that side, which is probably or most likely the north side, or it's always the rock side from your team, because the rock player should be more powerful because he has more maxes, and you should always assist as a side that will win, because you don't want to not lose, you want to win. But in this case, I'm a very superior player, and he can be faithful that I will deal with both of them. And that's why it's a quite decent decision to go here. Actually, it's a perfect decision, because without him, this side probably would collapse right now, because those Tech 2 subs would have been able to overwhelm this at this point. And without helping him, we would have lost south by now. So pretty nice. There's, what's that? Nice drop. That's also tech 3. No, it's, what is it? Is it tech 2? No, I think, yeah, that's tech 3 engineers again. So another tech 3 engineer drop in this game, which is, people don't do that pretty often. I mean, people like to do com drops and so on, but if you are able to land like this amount of build power, that can be always pretty powerful. Actually, I don't remember how this drop turned out. He's quite unlucky because all the trees will yeah, make him waste a lot of time building up his factories because he has to reclaim first. But still, that will be annoying here for sure. Alter 4 is quite confident that he has more ASF, although it seems like it's quite even right now. 51 to 50, dead even, and there is Sam's. So he actually can't afford to fight here. My air player is overflowing a lot of mass. He has 30,000 mass in the bank. If you have that much mass in the bank, at this point, is it just getting Supreme Scoreboard? You can, now it's a replay view, but in game you can check how much mass your teammates have. And I, for example, have no mass, and I check this regular, at least if I have too much mass, and I look who of my teammates can use my mass. And he should have given me this mass. I mean, he's overflowing, which is also nice. It's probably a nice, also a reason why I got back here into the game quite nicely, because I receive mass from him, which I didn't know at this point. Oh, this was unlucky, so it didn't do much. The cruisers killed everything here. That could have been more efficient. He could have made TMD with all the build power and so on, and kept this base here. It's quite sad that he didn't do much more of it. So South Navy is secured once again. He's making Gatling bots. Nice. Does he still? Yeah, he's overreacting. It's also a quite common mistake. If you are brought in a critical situation like this, lower rated players tend to overreact. And now he stopped building it. I'm going for the scout, yeah. Oh, that's always, if you're the air player, please try to scout. Now he gave me mass. I most likely ask for it in game. Yeah, he's still stockpiling more and more mass. It's a perfect move to give me mass. Now I can use it to make more navy. And in the meantime, my beach player has built up a very decent eco. And I'm fighting basically now full developed mid eco and full developed beach eco, while I lost another max here. There was probably another attack. Why I lost a lot of structures from on my own. I have a lot of navy. We can actually check that in the replay. I have 102,000 mass equivalent in navy, while Maro only has 27,000 in navy, but he has also 5,000 in hover. But overall, he has like 1/3 of my navy. So they have basically nothing to stop me. Sea Such has also 18,000, so they have basically half the mass in units in the water than I have together. So, which I'm aware at this point. I know that I have more units here and I should win. And actually my air player should have known this as well. I have, what do I have here? I have 2 cruisers and I have 2 carriers here. He fought air because there were like 20 torps, but those torps didn't do much to me because I have carriers and cruisers. And now he loses air. And this is what you basically never want. You only want to fight air. First rule, when you know that you will win. So if you don't know that you win, you never fight. You only fight then if you have to. Like there's 50 torps, and if you don't try your best, the game will be lost anyway. But this wasn't the case here. Those torpedo bombers didn't do much. I retreat now because I know now that this air player will do a lot of whatever, torpedo bombers, gunships, and so on. And he wouldn't have done this if this airfight didn't happen. Because now he is confident that he has way more air, which he wasn't before. So, especially if you're not the best air player, always hide your ASF, because your enemy doesn't know how much you have. And therefore he's careful to not make too many bombers and so on. But if you fight for no reason and lose, he will get the confidence to make a lot of bombers. So there's the first wave, that's 40 Tech 1 bombers. I basically knew that this will happen, so I retreated a little bit to collect my navy, because I knew I can't win at this point. I saw all the hover. In the meantime I made some nice oh, this was quite cool, I remember. I made strat bombers to kill the build power here. It's quite inefficient. I should have gone for the build power here, but there was everywhere where Tech 1 engineers, and I killed them as the bombers. Actually, I was close. It's actually quite nice. I have to remember that. I was about to kill the HQ. That would have been nice. Sadly enough, I didn't do it. And I also retreated because I knew that the situation on south was fine. So I knew that I have time. Because sometimes when you don't have time, because this side is already lost, you have to try it. You have to try to win. To try your luck, because you can't waste too much time to win if your other side is lost. Because then this player can do whatever he wants, and you don't want this to happen. But in this case, we didn't lose our south side, so I know I have time, and I build up more navy and try to win in another attempt. My air player has better eco, which I think I realized, and I hope for that we... Oh no, basically I didn't know how eco was, but I saw that my air player had now quite decent air grid, so I was quite confident that we will have decent amount of air for the rest of the game, and that I don't get torpedo bombered all the time. Yeah, actually, you should be careful here. I mean, he should retreat. He shouldn't fight here. I think, yeah, he fights again. Which he should not have done. I think he will lose the air again here. Yeah, that's not what you want to do. I mean, the torpedo bombers would have dropped their bombs anyway, and I would have killed them with my AA hive available. You should have only attacked them and then retreat immediately. Now he lost the, I don't know, 40 ASF again. Which opens up the window for the enemy air player to make more torpedo bombers again. Yeah, my navy composition is good, but my navy micro is pretty bad. But I think I will correct this soon. I will fast forward a bit. This is quite close here. I think Gien could have won here. But yeah, you see there he has no frigates, which is a huge mistake. Frigates would have made his life way easier than making only battleships. People like to make only battleships because it's so easy to micro, but it puts you at a very big disadvantage. If he had 30 frigates, he would have won with that. I mean, it depends on how he microed. Now we receive cell, plenty of gunships, torpedo bombers, but that's not enough. Their shields, their cruisers. Quite a good idea is to, if you can't break this position, then try to kill as much as possible, for example on mid. Yeah, so the North team, if Game doesn't win here, they run out of options. Ah, I remember. Now, it's also a good example. We didn't know about the Monkey Lords. We see the radar blips. But the question is, what do you think? Will they be effective at this point, or won't they be effective? What do you think? You see this amount of air. You see this Navy situation. You see this Navy situation with like over 10 battleships. You also see that you don't have air advantage, and now you send in 2 Monkey Lords, which is like 4 battleships. Yeah, it's like 2 battleships each in terms of mass. 20,000 mass. It's even more than 2 battleships. So he could have made 4 battleships instead of those Monkey Lords, and he sends them now in. And you can see now what will happen with the Monkey Lords in this case. It's always a good idea to send like a Monkey Lord or a nice unit push through the middle, but you only want to do it if you have at least Navy possession to assist that. Because what happens now, right now, they will shut down by Navy, and we have also air now available. And so those Monkey Lords now, I think they killed tier 1 max. This was already killed by the Navy push. First Monkey Lord is dead. It delivers reclaim, by the way. 10,000 reclaim. Killed another Tech 3 max. But there's still the reclaim available. I bring more Navy to the table. And so that's 2 Monkey Lords basically doing nothing. I mean, it's actually good for us because this is basically more reclaim than he killed. The effort wasn't the greatest as well. I think we had way more ASF and still lost here, but it doesn't matter. Fucking hell. Yeah, my air player has now, yeah, he has full mass bar. He doesn't spend his mass. He's making more and more mass income, but he doesn't spend it. It's basically a bad habit. I mean, it's cool to expand your eco, but if you don't use it, then yeah, you should always try to use all your income. Yeah, now I'm quite confident that the air issues have sorted out. And play down my Navy. I know that I have way more Navy. That's also why I go a little bit careless in here. Two interesting things that I see here is I made a Monkey Lord in case I didn't. I mean, it's actually an overreaction, but I think I also did it on purpose because I knew that they will die. And I see now that we have Navy possession on our side, so why not make a Monkey Lord myself to kill this? Because it's quite annoying to kill this with Navy because of the hills. And now I sent my Monkey Lord myself in, and now you can most likely see the difference. And what's also quite nicely, in the beginning they didn't have flag mixed in, so I made gunships, which I still do, and those gunships are really nice to deal with hover. People are always afraid of hover, but make Tech 1 bombers or make Tech 2 gunships to deal with them. It will make your life way easier. Now we lost, like, I don't know, it was probably like 200 Tech 1 bombers for free. Alta 4 was pretty attentive here and just took the opportunity to kill them for free. Yeah, like I said, the North team is now running out of options. South is still with no frigates, which is, I don't know, there's nothing much, not much more to say. Actually, it would be very hard to help Game to play better if he doesn't even make the most normal unit as a Navy player. Start making frigates, and from this on you build up. Don't start making battleships and ask what to do else. Make frigates and then learn how to use anything else. You always have to fight with frigates, even on Tech 3 stage. look at my side. I have 40 frigates. You could even have 200 at this point. It depends. I would have had more frigates if I didn't go for gunships, because I know I have to deal with hover. But I also have oh, it's pretty bad micro here, but I have also destroyers because I want to have torpedo defense. I have some cruisers, I have some carriers, I have everything to deal with all issues, and I have always important reclaim engineers to go reclaim immediately after the fights. Yeah, those arty were pretty annoying because I wasn't able. It's actually a nice tip if you want to help your beach player. Arty at this position is very effective. Can barely be hit. You see, they missed all the time. I don't know why, but it was. I actually remember that I was wondering why those fucking Take 2 arties didn't die. But this is where the monkey lord will become handy. Yeah, I should progress here faster right now. I'm actually a little bit careful because of all the hover. That's quite annoying. But I know that I have way more. If you... Yeah. I was just about to say. At this point, I am able to know that I will win. There's no way I will lose that. I have anti-air. We have quite enough of air. I have lots of navy. And they don't have that much. So I know that I will win on the navy. That's why I already start making nuke subs. I don't make nuke subs when I win. I make nuke subs or anything else that is expensive when I going to see that I will win. I hopefully will stop making navy, because if I know that I will win, I basically should also know that I don't need more battleships. I can already judge that I will end up here with like 10 battleships after I won, or at least 8. So there's no reason to make more. And if you want to play efficient, you want to save mass as fast as possible. Yeah, there's my monkey lord. Oh, they make the satellite, by the way. The player is asking for mass. He wants to defend it. Yeah, rule number 1, always go for the power because of the splash damage. Yeah, kill the next power. Then another rule is, if you kill like the front position, try also to kill all engineers and all factories, so the enemy isn't or is at least delayed to reclaim all this shit after he kills your monkey lord, for example. I think they don't kill it, but if they would kill it, they would have a harder time to reclaim this. I mean, they have some engineers here, but killing the HQ or all the slave factories, I should have killed this here as well, because he can now take 1 engineers from here, which you want to deny, so they can't reclaim as fast as possible. I bring now my carrier here to assist my monkey lord, because my monkey lord will also be helpful to deal with that situation here with all the hover. South is winning as well. Oh, we have a lot of eco by this time. We all have we have RAS SCUs. Yeah, I most likely don't make RAS SCUs. Yeah, I have a lot of mass income now. I probably switched now. Yeah, I'm making a little bit more frigates here because of all the hover. To make this win more safe. But I already started gases with all the reclaim I have here. Another air fight. Did we win? Did we win this time? I think this was the first time we won air. But actually, still no reason to fight air. I don't know what he's going to do now. Yeah, lots of battleships still. They will kill all the eco from the beach. Game gave up. Alta 4 made a nuke. And a satellite, but that's not enough to make any difference. I said in my monkey lord, I think I will kill some pigeons because I knew that I didn't need it from here anymore. Didn't do that much, but it didn't matter. Oh, what is that? That's Nothas. Okay, nice. Yeah, I think that's we now only see the last couple of minutes of the replay. North team getting finished. Yeah, killing the aggregate is always cool. It's quite good, nice use of Nothers. Although I would have liked him more to go for ACU snipes. But actually at this point it doesn't really matter what we do now. We have Navy possession on both sides. We have guesses nearly done. There was nothing holding up us anymore. Yeah, still a lot of trees here to be reclaimed. Yeah, you should always reclaim on any map. That's rule number one. It will always be better. You shouldn't invest too many engineers on reclaim, but you want to have the reclaim as fast as possible. It will absolutely boost your economy and makes a difference between you and the player that does reclaim. Yeah, I think the most controversial thing was that my air player, which I see pretty often with mid-tier players, that they throw air away without any reason. And by fighting air, and I mean, people are often driven to help, but they really have to care for it because they make it worse. Because if you lose that air fight and you are not confident that you 100% win that, you will make the enemy stronger because they will be confident that they can now use bombers versus you. And they wouldn't do this without this air fight because they don't know how much you have. And they also don't have radar, so they have to be afraid to get intercepted in a nice way. Alta 4 did really nice. I don't know. I mean, yeah, his both navies were basically weaker, so he had a hard time to make a difference. This drop was really nice. I think, yeah, I had Sam's here, and I think he should have used those gunships on this position to absolutely push his and boost his Tech 3 engineers to make the difference with them. I think that he could have made it a little bit better, but it's hard to tell because I already prepared and made SAMs. And we also had air. My air player could have suicided his ASF in case. So, and he didn't know that I have AA here. And then he thought he get this safe kill. I mean, if I didn't make the Tech 1 anti-air here, and if I lost for free, or my Tech 3 maxes here, that would have been really painful for me. Really much. At this point, I wasn't full Tech 3 maxes, and losing the entire island on Tech 3 maxes would have been really bad. And Csuch could have made, I mean, if he made one Monkey Lord, not two, I don't know why he made two. If he made one Monkey Lord and sent it in 5 minutes earlier, when the Aeon battleships had Navy possession here, then one Monkey Lord, basically the cost half of what he invested here, could have done way more. So you see, it's very often, or it's basically all the time, not really about base building and income. It's so much more about decision making. Because yeah, two Monkey Lords the cost of one monkey lord, did way less than one monkey lord, which had to be for sure done 5 minutes earlier and just sent it at the correct time. And then at the cost of half of the cost, you could have done way more damage, most likely. And therefore you need overview, and therefore decision making is key, especially on maps like Setons. Yeah, I think that's enough for today. I hope you liked the new setup. I wish you all the best. See you soon. Bye bye.